Okay, so today I am still working on making the Subculture palette by Anastasia work. So we're just going to keep trucking on with it. The last look I did with it, which was in my cruelty-free video, I really liked and thought looked really good. So I'm going to try a different one today. I want to do a halo eye. I'm thinking I want to use more of the brown shades like All Star, Rowdy, and Fudge, and put Adorn in the middle because I haven't gotten to play with Adorn at all. So I'm trying to figure out. I think I'll take New Wave to start the look off. Tap in very softly. And transition shades are very important with this palette. You want to make sure you're utilizing your transition shades. And I think last time I actually dipped into the Modern Renaissance because I wanted to use, I forgot what they're called, but I wanted to use Burnt Orange and whatever the other one is for my transition shades, and that seemed to help a little bit. But we're just going to work with this palette today. And I'm thinking about doing a video on how to make the Subculture palette work. Tell me if you guys think that'd be something you'd like to see, just because I feel like a lot of people love the colors in it, but they just can't make it work. So I'm thinking about doing how I made the Anastasia palette work. So now I'm going to take the shade, I still kind of want to use Destiny just because I feel like it looks good with so many different looks, but let's try Roxy real quick. And by the way, I'm using a brush by Furless. It is the Me 3 brush by Furless. So we're going to take Roxy. And for me, Roxy has no fallout whatsoever. That was one of the biggest shades that people said had a lot of fallout. For me, I don't have problems with Roxy. It has no fallout. I'll tap into it and show y'all how it doesn't have any fallout. I don't think it really does. I mean, it has a tiny bit of kickback, but I feel like every shadow does. Woo, and I got some crazy pigmentation from those 3 taps, so. And I'm just going to take this Mecca Cosmetics angled little brush right here, and we're just going to pop Roxy on the outer corners and the inner corner to start off the halo eye. I really, even though through all the controversy, I just really wanted this palette because I knew it would push me out of my comfort zone, and it definitely has, and I've absolutely loved it because I've done so many different colorful looks that I normally would never have done, and I'm thoroughly enjoying that. Okay, so for my next shade, I'm going to take the shade All Star first, and I'm going to use my finger because you get so much less, and excuse my nails are awful, but you get so much less fallout and stuff when you use your finger with this palette. So that's why I'm using my finger, and the color sticks a lot better. So we're going to pop All Star on the inner and outer corner. I just think with this palette it takes practice, and it takes just kind of like getting to know it before you can really like judge the palette, because my first few looks turned out horrendous. So I feel like you just kind of have to get used to it, and it looks rough while you're working on the process, but it always turns out really nicely. So I feel like you just have to keep that in mind, that even though it looks bad, it's gonna turn out okay. Played with Fudge, so we're gonna use Fudge. And I'm just gonna use Fudge to kind of give us that brown hue, because Adorn is a brown shimmery shade. So we kind of want to still use a good bit of that brown hue in there. And I'm using just like a little concealer brush for this one, just because I don't want this one all over the area where I'm putting it. I want it to be a little bit more precise. And now go in with finger and just blend that out. Okay, and we're going to take this little brush that comes with the Naked Heat palette, but you could use any kind of dumb brush like this. And I'm going to take a little bit of All Star, just the tiniest little bit, and we're just going to bring this above the crease and try to work that shade into the top part of the crease a little bit more. So I'm going to take this little small smudge brush from e.l.f. and a little bit of Age Rewind concealer by Maybelline. And I'm just going to carve the center out a little bit. And I've never had a problem with the Anastasia shimmers sticking to the lid at all. They've always stuck to the lid for me. Like the Tartist, not the Tartist part of the Sweet Peach palette, the shimmers never stick to my eyes, but I don't have a problem with Anastasia and their shimmer lid sticking at all. Alright, and we're actually just going to leave, we're not going to set down the concealer because it kind of adds as an adherent for the shades. So now we're going to take this shade Adorn here, and as always I always pop the picture of the palette up and just mark which shade I'm using, and you see that pigmentation, I mean, come on, it's crazy. I don't think you get that out of any shimmer shade in a palette that's come out recently at all. And that concealer just kind of adds as a base. I mean, it just covered up the shade in the middle of my eye. Like, that's crazy. Okay, and I'm just going to take that little small concealer brush I used that I put fudge on before, and we're going to take a little bit of All Star and just kind of blend that into that shimmer and just drag it that way. Okay, and that's the finished eye look. I'm going to go off camera and do my other eye, probably do wing liner and then pop on falsies, and I'll be back to do the rest of my face. Alright, so I already moisturized with my Simple Replenishing Rich Moisturizer, which I'm almost out of, so I gotta get more of that. Gotta replenish on it. Get it? Get it? Get it? Alright, so I am actually going to be trying a new foundation today, but first let me prime. So I think I'm going to do something different and use the baby skin primer all over the face. I don't ever do this because I just don't see a point. I feel like it's for your pores, so use it on your pores. And I actually, since I'm now going cruelty free, I'm not going to be repurchasing any of these products, which is just something I'm going to miss because I don't have the Benefit Professional or this one, but oh well. I am going to be using up all my non-cruelty free products, but in every video I'm going to do a disclaimer stating that I am now cruelty free. I am just using my products up. But for my foundation, which is going to be the Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation in the shade Y335, and I'm going to be canceling my Ipsy membership, which is sad, but gotta do it because they aren't cruelty free to my standards, so I have got to cancel that subscription. I don't know if I'm going to if I'm gonna try. Well, I don't think there is any completely cruelty free or vegan kind of beauty subscription. If you know of one, comment it down below, but I don't think that there is. I've never heard of one, at least, and I feel like on YouTube and stuff I would have heard of one that was that way, but I don't know. Okay, so I'm gonna use a brush to start off with and see the coverage that I get with the brush, because it's supposed to be, ooh, it's a little orange. Y335 is not quite my shade, but we'll work with it. With concealer and everything, it should be fun. I usually like full coverage foundations with a brush better, just because they give a fuller coverage finish, and I find that with like this foundation feels really light on the skin. Even though it is full coverage, it feels really light. It doesn't feel like it would be a full coverage foundation, because I was about to say, well, you'd like to use a brush for thicker foundations, but it really isn't thick at all, which is surprising. It's pretty lightweight. I mean, it feels like my Kokie HD foundation. I feel like my Kokie HD foundation is a complete and total, honestly right now, I feel like it's a complete and total dupe for this foundation. And Kokie is completely cruelty free. So I just thought about that. This actually feels the same as my Kokie foundation and it looks the same on the skin to me. I want to get the Catrice Camouflage, Liquid Camouflage concealer, but my Ulta does not sell Catrice, so I will have to order that online. And I'm definitely not a person that likes to order online at all. So I'm not exactly sure. I'm going to have to do some more research. I'm going to see if I can cover these bumps up with this concealer, but I'm probably going to end up having to go and grab my heart-shaped tape. Okay. Need more coverage in there. And I'm having a bad brow day, but we're working with it. Okay. So I'm just going to take my beauty blender and I put a little bit more on, one because I didn't put any foundation on my cheeks, but like in this area, but also because we really need to change the undertone of this foundation because it's very, very orange. Okay, so I'm going to take my Cover FX Perfect Setting Powder and I'm just going to dump this into the lid, and I'm going to take my beauty blender. I found that the Cover FX is better for baking over the Laura Mercier powder. It just sets everything better because it's more, like I find that the Laura Mercier kind of gets clumped up. I don't know if that's just me, but it seems to me that it gets a little bit clumpy in the container, and my Cover FX doesn't. So I'm just going to get those under eyes really nicely. And I'm trying to think of like a talk video I can do after this so that I can just keep this makeup on. And now I'm just going to set my entire face with the Cover FX powder. I've been into setting my face less just because it definitely keeps my skin way more hydrated and keeps it from being so dry. Even though I love a matte finish, it keeps it from being so dry during the day. Alright, and now we're going to contour. So I'm going to take just my e.l.f. contour brush, take that middle shade in my Kokie contour kit. The only thing that I ever use. I'm so glad that I tried out Kokie products because since I'm going cruelty free, they'll be a great brand for me to be able to use because they are completely cruelty free and they are like privately owned. They're owned by Kokie, so no parent company owns them or anything like that. Hopefully that doesn't change. If it does, I'll be really sad because I found my favorite foundation ever by them, but let's hope not. And what do we need to do next? Alright, I guess I'll do blush next. I'll take my Hikari Cosmetics little quad thing here. And we'll just give ourselves a little bit of color back in the face. And I'm going to use some of my favorite highlighter formulas in the entire world. I don't know exactly where you can find this. I got mine at Marshall's. I don't know if they have online or whatever, but this is the Profusion Highlight Palette. We're going to use the Pearl shade, which is called Pale Gold. Just right here. I don't know, I just think, I mean, first of all, it's cheap. Second of all, it just gives you a really pretty highlight. They're not too glittery, especially for cheaper highlighters, and I find that these colors are really good for my skin tone. And then I'm going to take Pale Gold and highlight the nose. I'm not going to connect the bridge to the tip because that leaves a little bit of a crazy thing. And then we're just going to highlight the chin and highlight right there. Somehow, even though I'm like as light as possible with this, it always is too harsh right there. Okay. So I'm going to finish off the eyes. See if I can find it. I always take an angled brush for my lower lash line. I'm just going to take the one that comes in the palette. And we are going to take Roxy. Alright, and then I just took a little bit of All Star down there, and I think that's all I'm going to do. Just leave that golden bronze there, and now we're just going to do the inner corner. So I haven't decided yet if I want to take Cube or Electric. I think I'm going to take Electric first and see what Electric looks like with this bronze look. Okay, so Electric is so glittery. I don't know why, so we're just going to take Cube. I think Cube is going to be our best bet today. And I like the Cube shade, but I mean, I'm honestly not super impressed with these. And I'm just going to do a lower lash mascara. Alright, so we're just going to spray my face with some all natural rose water. And then just pat everything in with a beauty blender. Oh, lips. I knew there was something I'm missing. I'm going to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Vintage Lip Gloss, and I will be right back. Alright, so guys, this is the finished look. I really liked how it turned out. I feel like the eyes look really, really pretty, and it's finally like 60 degrees here in Alabama, so I feel like I can actually rock a fall look out, but I feel like I'm really getting used to this palette. I think that it just takes a lot of practice, and it takes you getting used to it, and if you're not willing to practice with it, then don't get it, but you can get some really, 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 really beautiful looks once you get used to the formula of these shadows. But that's basically all I have for you guys today. Please like and subscribe as always, and comment down below anything you'd like me to do in the future. Bye!